Now I've had to remove the rear seat to start this rear floor section. That's becoming a problem because having two restorations in the one workshop is busy enough, but storing bits and pieces becomes an added problem. So at the moment the rear seat is sitting on the bonnet of the Consort, covered up of course, but even so I've got stuff stored everywhere. The need to take the seat out is evident because the seat does overhang the floor a bit, and apart from that I've got to put carpet on the front. Don't know what you'd call that. I'll call it a kickboard, but it's not. I'll probably glue that on because that once in position doesn't need to be removed. I'm probably going to have to take the wheel arch covers off. I can lift them up at the moment because I haven't actually screwed them in position, but I want to get the carpet under that as well. So at the moment I'm just measuring where the carpet will end. I've made the marks under the door there. So the carpet will go, can't really see from here, I need to shut that door, but the carpet should go just under the doorway when I've got it in position. Anyway, once I've marked those out properly, I've then got to cover the floor with same insulation I've done before. I'll start with the floor, and I may even extend and go up under the rear seat. I'll see how much insulation I've got. But that's the first bit. Once again, with the insulation on, I've got to be able to get the floor sections out. So I need to make sure there's sufficient cutout to allow that to happen. So anyway, I'll start this and get all of this in place. The insulation's complete. Wasn't too difficult a job, apart from all once again the removable floorboards. The coverage is okay. I'm not going to put any insulation on that back panel there. Just going to glue the carpet straight onto that. Now comes the hard part, the making a template of this entire area. That is one carpet, so one removable carpet. But the difficulty, of course, similar to the front, except there's more of it, and there are more cutouts. Cutouts for the seat runners. There are angles on the side. There's cutouts around the reinforcing on the B pillar. It's all different angles around the rear wheel arch. Then it comes out around the seat. So there are a lot of cutout areas that I've got to actually get in the right position. So I'll start with a cloth template, see how that goes. I may transfer that to an underlay template. I'm pretty sure I will, because there are just too many things that can go wrong. I certainly have enough carpet for the floor, but I think I've said before I don't have enough to do it twice. So it's a case of get it right the first time. Anyway, I'll get some material out and start trying to work out the correct shape for the template. I finished cutting out the template just with plain cloth. That's what this white sheet is. I've got the cutouts up the front here, down the sides and down the back. What I was going to do is just to transfer that straight onto the underlay, and then the underlay onto the carpet. But been thinking a bit more about it. The prospect of making an error just seems to be too much to not think of another way. So what I've done, I've used the template to cut out a broad piece of carpet. Now it is certainly oversized, and what I'm thinking of doing is actually trimming it back piece by piece, in a sense, using both the template and the floor of the vehicle to get the dimensions right. So what I'm going to do is starting at the rear of the car, cut the rear profile. Now it's got to go in around the wheel arch and across the metal at the front of the seat there, and over the transmission prop shaft hump there. So I thought I'd start there, just cut the line across the back and then fit that first and then start to work forward. My concern is that I might end up cutting the carpet too small if I try it any other way. So if I start at the rear, get everything fitting right there, as I say, using the template and also using the carpet itself to make sure I've got the cutouts in the right position, and then, as I say, gradually work back or work towards the front of the vehicle. I've mentioned before, this is the only piece of carpet I have, so I can't afford to make any errors, so hence I have cut it oversized, and I think this might be the best option. Anyway, I'll start at the rear, see how that goes, and then I'll make some plans once that's in position. Now I have a slight change in plans. I've worked out I've actually got to have this piece of carpet cut and fitted first, and the reason for that is that this piece will be glued on and the carpet will butt up against it, so it actually sinks below the level of the floor carpet, so you don't see the join. So I'm just fitting this at the moment. What it also has to do is go round the corner on either side to run up against the inner guard there. Now the thing with that is that the level across the front there is not the same level as the little backward running piece. It actually drops down and runs back. Now the actual rear carpet sits down inside this piece here, so it slips down and goes down, oh, I don't know, an inch at least, maybe a bit more, behind that carpet. But on the ends there, it actually sits on the level of the cutout, so you can actually see where the seat's sitting on top. So what I've got to decide is whether I just continue this piece around at the same level, even though it's not glued on the top inch or so, or cut it down and then have it fit to where the the metal finishes on the side there. Now, in order to have a nice clean edge against the carpet and the seat itself, I'll need to trim the top of that with vinyl. Now if I do that across the top, then I've got the problem of stepping that down and then running it across that way. The alternative would be that I just run the carpet at the same level as where the metal is at the front and just run it round the corner, still with the vinyl cover piece. If I do that, what it does is cover up where the rear seat sits down lower than the front. Now, being able to see that, that's what I've got to be mindful of. So what I'm going to have to do is to cut this carpet with the level the same right across and round the corner, drop in the inner guard cover and see actually how much of this is seen on the edge there, and I'll probably also drop the rear seat in just to make a check. It may be it'd be better just to run that round at the same level and basically cover where the seat is sitting on the metal behind this front plate here, and it'll give it an even join rather than a step down. Anyway, I'll cut this piece to fit and then make the decision whether I drop the level there and cut it off. Now I've cut the carpet out for the board there. It's not glued on yet. I've cut it the same width all the way along, even though, as I've said, that dips down there and then in, but I've kept it at the same height, which I think looks a lot neater once I've got the seat in. I've put some carpet under the inner guard cover. That will be actually glued in, as will this. This will have a vinyl edge all the way and around the corner. That seems to be the easiest and the neatest way to do that. I won't be putting that edging on yet. I'll do all the edging together. So what I'm now going to do is, working from the rear, start to cut the main carpet. What it means now is that I've got a straight edge of carpet along the back, which is a lot better than having little inserts in around the wheel arch, and it'll make it easier to do the trimming along the edge there as well. So now I've got to cut this rear edge and also the cutouts around the rear doors. I'm sure this is not the fastest way to cut out a carpet, but it seems to be working. The carpet is still oversized. I haven't trimmed the edges. I haven't trimmed the front. I'm just cutting out the seat runners at the moment. I've got one more seat runner to do on the other side. It seems to be fitting okay at this stage. Just got a small split there for the support for the B pillar. Haven't done that on the other side either. So at this stage it appears to be working. Hopefully I can keep that up and get the carpet cut out without any shortcomings, as it were. In other words, gaps. I'll keep going. What I'm doing to identify these, I've not using the template I made. What I'm doing is using long pins. So I locate the edges of that with pins through the top of the carpet, where I think the edges are. then I don't cut on that line, I cut on the other side of that line. So in other words, so the carpet is oversized, and then from there I trim back. So I'm erring on the side of caution when I cut. I always cut the first one over, so I'm not ending up with large gaps. So I'll keep this going, and I'll end up hopefully with a carpet that will fit in the area that it needs to be. Doesn't mean the trimming is finished, because I've got to look at how much further I need to trim to fit in the vinyl edges on them. Now I've finished the broad cut of the carpet. It fits, still a little bit oversized, mainly at the sides and the front end. Still be a little bit of trimming around the cutouts, so that's not a problem at this stage. What I need to do now is to actually finish the rear of the car, this back section here. To do that, I've got to trim it along the top with vinyl. Once I've done that, then I've got to glue it to the steel. Once that's in position, then that gives me a reference point for the rest of the carpet. So basically what I'll be doing is starting to do the final trim from the rear. So I'll do a cross under the seat, then I'll do the sides under the doors, and then I'll move forward from there. So there's still quite a lot to do. The problem with it now is that, particularly with the main part of the carpet, as I trim it, obviously I've got to take this to the other workshop to use the sewing machine, but I'm going to have to bring it back and then trial fit again, and then work out where the final cuts are for the sides and the front. So I'll be going backwards and forwards between two workshops to actually do this. I think it's the only way I can be sure that I get the final fit as close as I can to where I want them to be. So I'll just remove this carpet from the floor for the time being, and then work on this rear section. Now that also includes the pieces of carpet I've cut out for around the wheel arches. They'll actually go under the covers for the wheel arches there. I've trimmed the vinyl on the front of the rear seat, just along the top. Still haven't glued it. I've just pegged it in place to see how it looks against the carpet. It seems okay. What I'll now do is glue it. Once I've glued that in place, then I've got to glue the corner pieces in around the wheel arches. These ones here. They're just small offcuts of carpet there. They'll be glued straight to the floor and won't be removable. Just looking at it, looks quite neat across the join between the main carpet and the what I'll call the headboard there. I was going to put a trim along that edge. I'll just experiment just by putting a strip along there and without sewing it, just to see what it looks like. I'm still not convinced it would be a good idea not to trim it, just in case it gets lifted up, although it shouldn't get lifted. The carpet really can't go anywhere once it's lying down. It's pretty much held in place by the cleats for this seats, but at this stage I haven't fixed it, of course. I probably still need to clip the carpet in somehow to stop it moving with, I mean, if no one's got their feet on it, it's fine, it just sits there, but with people moving their feet, maybe it will slide forward or bunch up or something. So anyway, a few decisions to make, but the next one is just to glue that on and glue those corner pieces in, and I'll see how the rear seat sits in that opening and how the joins look. I will more than likely have to consider screwing the rear wheel arch covers in too. At the moment I just push them in place. I really need to fix them. Maybe I'll just put a couple of screws in to fix them in their final positions, because they tend to move once I push them over the wheel arches. They hang out a bit, so they probably do need at least 1 or 2 screws in them. Right, the cover on the board is now glued in place with its strip along the top. Seats just dropped in, nothing's screwed in at this stage, so it's got a little bit of movement there to tighten things up. The coverage is good. What I now need to do is to decide whether I'm going to trim this, because that's where I need to start. So I'll just put a few test pieces in, see what it looks like. I'm hoping it'll be alright. The only problem I see with it is that with the strip in there and going over the prop shaft hump there, it may tend to, because of the strip, pull the carpet up off the floor. That's the only concern I have. But anyway, I'll look at that next, see what I need to do.